So, should I focus on cash flow or growth when purchasing my first investment property, or when you're beginning your investment journey, I should say? So, this depends on the individual. So, depending on your circumstances, depending on if you're a good saver, depending if you how much cash or equity you have in the bank, or available funds to use for a property purchase, okay, and depending on your income, your household income. So let's say there's a few things to take into consideration. Let's say you're someone, you've got 65 grand in savings. Let's say your household income is 75 grand a year, and maybe you're saving 2 grand a month, or maybe you're saving maybe 1,500 2 grand a month. Okay, so it's not too bad. Okay, but it's probably greater than the average Australian saving, but it's as well as it's just a nice moderate rate of saving. Now, because you only got 65 grand in savings and you're saving $2,000 a month, if we look at it, the likelihood for you to save up for another deposit, you're gonna have to wait over a year, and it's not going the market is going to move faster. So we can't save our way to wealth. So for instance, you probably be thinking about, let's get a growth asset, because if that property grows faster than the average Australian growth rate, which is 6.8%, and we can double or triple that growth within that year, then what we can do in 6 to 12 months time, we can use the equity from that property to get into another property, okay? And that's going to help speed up my process, because I can't save up for a deposit. Now, if we had the same person had the same income, but they had maybe the same income, which is 75 grand, but they had, let's say they had 150 grand in savings, and they're saving still $2,000 a month, or $1,500 to $2,000 a month, what I would do then with that sort of person, you could diversify and say, okay, let's get the first property as a growth asset, of course. The second one, we'll be able to go again right away. What we'll do with this one here, we're going to chase something that's a little bit more stronger cash flow. Of course, it's still going to be a high growth asset, and we're going to target something like that as well. That's going to help offset a little bit more of that yield from the first purchase, which is more of the growth asset. But keep in mind, guys, here at Fresh Start, every property we purchase, it's like a unicorn property. It grows in value, and it's a strong cash flow asset. So you're having the best of both when you're working with us. We're not just picking one property or the other and saying you're only getting cash flow from this property, you're only going to get growth from this property. We've purchased blocks of units, we've purchased duplexes, that are yielding 7, 8, 9% yields, but they've grown 20-30%, okay, in a year. I've purchased properties that are freestanding houses that have a yield of 5.5% to 6%, and they've grown 25% or more in a year as well. So that it's just it doesn't mean much. So, but what I'm trying to explain to you is, when we are going to those different types of assets, the more higher, strong yielding properties, those look better on your balance sheet, you could say, because from a bank's perspective, if you've got a property that's yielding, say, 7% or 8% yields, it's going to look better from you because of borrowing perspective, because that property is going to be paying for itself, and the banks will look at it and say, okay, this property is yielding quite well, and not to say it's giving you extra income, which will add to your own income, your own personal income, which will increase your borrowing capacity. So it all depends on the individual. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, if you're someone that's maybe earning 6 figures, and you're saving probably 4 grand a month, you're saving quite well, and let's say you've got a fair bit of cash in the bank as well, you would probably go for some growth asset at the beginning as well, like I said, but we're still going to be you're going to be having growth and cash flow at the same time, but as well you would diversify that portfolio into cash flow assets. So there's no right or wrong here, depending on the situation, your circumstances, your household income, your savings, and other factors that come into play as well. So hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully you get a bit of clarity from that, but the biggest takeaways is, here at Fresh Start, we are purchasing properties that are cash flow strong, and they're growing strong as well. So where you're having the best of both worlds. Okay. Hopefully you got some value from that. Hopefully that makes sense. But make sure you get the right advice that is tailored to your personal situation. Okay. Any questions or anything that you would like to know from this topic, please reach out to any of us, the team here at Fresh Start. More than happy to have a free chat, point you in the right direction, and just give you guys as I guess a value session if you need on this topic here. All right, guys. Thank you. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week for next week's poll.